Yeah, it'd probably help if I had the mute button off. Welcome to Breaking the Silence in our weekly live chat. We have Benno today, and we're going to talk about his art. As I said, we were going to be discussing experiencers' artwork during these chats, and people have been sending in their art. And you saw mine last week. If you are new and didn't get a chance to see it, it's still there. You can go back and watch it. So before I bring Benno on, um, just going to update you on my own experience a little bit. After all, this channel is about that, is it? And so we had a tsunami warning, not last night, the night before. And as a result, Mary and I are up kind of late, and I stayed up even later watching and refreshing the NOAA page, uh, hoping to see that we were out of the woods. You know, after you've had your house flooded once, um, you kind of never get over it. And the concept that uh, the sea rising up and flooding the channel again and coming in here uh, didn't make it easy for me to go to sleep. I finally did, but I maybe got 4 hours sleep that night. And the next day we had a very busy day, which we got through, but it was really hard. I was so looking forward to a good night's sleep. We went to bed early, like a little bit after 9, and I expected to go to bed and just sleep. So at 1:30 in the morning, I woke up uncovered, and when I got out of bed, because I had to go to the bathroom, I said, you know what? I'm going to look at this really close. And I examined the covers. And what I found was pretty interesting, to say the least. And that is that the covers were rolled, so or folded under back neatly, as I've seen before. But it's easy to think to yourself, well, I probably just did that because I was hot or something. I don't remember. Well, I would remember it. But just devil's advocate, all that, just maybe it's just one of those things. But to fold it under itself over and over again in a rolling kind of sense and have it so neatly at that same 45-degree angle that I'm used to seeing every single time. There's a big difference between that and getting hot and tossing your covers back, because it would never do that. So I was pretty sure that something had happened, and I felt okay. But then the rest of the night, I had the most haunting and amazing. I mean, nothing bad, but just these experiences of these. I saw these bugs. They were like something out of Starship and Troopers. They were quite large, and they were coming towards me, and I knew they were intelligent, and I was a little unnerved by them. They almost looked like big grasshoppers or something. And then I noticed that they had like these slots in their heads, and they were glowing from behind. Um and I was starting to get unnerved by their presence. And then they shifted into two German shepherds. Now everybody, at least some of you know, I love shepherds, and I love my dog Rosie, who was a black German shepherd mix, but she looked like a shepherd. And it was so obvious to me that they were trying to call me whatever they were. Mary said it was probably screen memory, but to make a long story short, when I finally woke up this morning, it was awful. I mean, I was so tired and so drained and so emotional. Um, so bear with me if I'm a little slow tonight. But I had to get that off my chest. And besides, you're always interested in each other's experiences and the things that we go through. And there's no question this experience is continually going on. Very much so. And I'm feeling, yeah, I'm feeling it. Welcome, Benno. So where's your mic?
That's my new mic. Is
There
it
it is.
all working? Is
Yeah. Bring it a bit closer if you can.
is it
There
working?
you go. Yeah, it sounds a lot better when you're closer to it. You
All
see
right.
how I sound back over here? And then I sound
Yeah,
all
yeah.
robust down here. So,
All right, let's get in all nice and personal.
yeah, yeah, I know. So, how are you?
I'm good. It's morning here. I've got a lot of energy. So, yeah, if you want to just rest, I've got a lot to talk about, I guess.
It works for me. Let's start off by, well, first of all, introduce yourself because although you're amongst friends and other experiencers here that you know well, and they know you, not everybody does. Then we have lately more and more amazing, wonderful new people joining us. And I say that because these are people who are not trolls. These are people that have these experiences or at least are so interested in it and they have good hearts that they'll want to know about you. Can
Yeah,
you tell us a little bit about yourself?
absolutely. So, hello, everybody. My name is Benno from Oz, but my actual name is Ben Harker, and I'm a school teacher from Adelaide. I'm 49 years of age. I've had NHI in my life for as long as I have conscious memory,
What just
um, and that includes our visitor friends and other forms of consciousness, such as people that may have passed. I've had certain things occur, experiences as well. I think very similarly to the different types of experiences that you have had, Steve, that you have um, shared with us here on BTS. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm here today to show some of my art that reflects some of those experiences and my perception of those experiences. And my hope in doing so is to, in sharing this, is to share the load for the people that have experienced these things. And hopefully this can support you just as BTS has supported me. And yeah, it is. It's one of those things where I think something's changing. I think everyone feels it. There are many people. I've heard some people call them sleepers, people that have had experiences that are now wanting to talk about them and coming to the fore to discuss with like-minded people, with open-minded people, what they've experienced and get support and friendship, community. Here I am 2 years after sort of acknowledging I'm an experiencer, and I've joined a whole new community of wonderful people from all over the world. So, yeah.
it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we start with your art?
Yeah,
I
no
didn't,
worries.
geez, that was a
Um,
rhyme. Should we start
G'day,
with your
Mary.
art? Okay, they uh they are in order, and
Yeah,
even when
I've
I
got
loaded them
notes, mate.
into, yeah, when I loaded them in here, they came up in order too, which is
Oh,
a miracle,
fantastic.
except one of them.
Yeah.
So let's begin.
All right. So this one. So this is the first artwork. I've done it in chronological order from my first conscious memory, as far as I can remember. So yeah, this is pretty, I guess, out there. But I do have a memory of being in the womb and pre-birth. I've heard maybe one or two other people say that. I've kept it to myself because most people don't have these memories, but I'm sharing it here with you. And so it's a semi-abstract. I do remember being in some sort of fluid, thick fluid, and seeing these warm colours and shapes floating around. Next one.
It looks right to me. Okay, so next one will be number 2, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at that.
Okay. So when I was
That's
writing
pretty amazing.
thank you. When I was writing the story, I'm not a writer. I mean, I do teach English as well as art. I'm a high school teacher. but it's a secondary thing. But I felt in dealing with this subject matter and beginning the healing process that I also had to create art along the way. So I use Photoshop. I don't do anything with AI. And I create all the images myself. And so this is me. This is an actual photograph as me as a little 2.5, 3-year-old, maybe 1.5. I can't remember, but it's the only one I could find. And so I put it in, scanned it in, and these are the little vampires that I describe in my secret story, number 24. If you haven't heard Mary read that one. And it was my first go at trying to visually depict what I'd experienced. And you can see the little crack of light in the door. And I loved it when you made that story, Steve, and you had the little chubby hand reaching up for the doorknob. Yeah, I couldn't quite reach the doorknob. I was always physically small for my age and allergic to the world. I had chronic asthma. And things like that. It's a miracle. If I didn't have a mother that was a nurse, I probably wouldn't have had this life that I've had. And so that's me when they came into my room, and it's again, check out.
The see now, because I get to comment on this stuff too, you know.
Yeah.
The way the communion-ish grays, what do you want to call them, in the cloaked, the sort of Grim Reaper cloaking with the hoodies is amazing to me because I actually experienced that one night when that one just came, and they looked just like that. I mean, just like that. And it came, that's when you'll remember, I did a show on myself about it where I came to in my underwear, standing in the middle of the street outside my house in Northridge under a street light, and was terrified, not by, I was terrified by the situation because I worry about cops driving by or somebody reporting me. And then right about that time, that came at me, came right at me, and it put its arms around me, and up we went. How did you arrive at those the way you did? Because it's so striking to what I remember.
Well, as I said, my process in in trying to recount these memories started off with me writing. And as I wrote it down, I had to rack my memory for what I had seen. So it sort of opened up my memory, which also brought a lot of emotion and fear at this age, 2.5 years old. And as I said to you, as part of my healing, I had to start drawing, I had to start painting, and this is what came out.
Wow. Okay. So the next one will be number 3.
Yeah.
Also
So this
amazing.
Oh, thank you. So this was in my, again, you have to refer to my secret story. I'm not going to reiterate all the details of that, but
Sure,
these
sure.
these beings, they took me from my room. I don't know how, but they took me up through the wall, through the window, into the sky, and there was a bright, bright blue light. I sort of blacked out at that stage, and then I was inside somewhere. I don't know where, whether it was a craft, whether it was a building, I don't know. But those little beings were with me, and they walked me along a sort of winding, curved hallway. And at the end of it, there was this bright, bright white light. There was blue tinges on the sides. It was very cold. I could smell ozone and a little bit of a sweet sort of smell. And I think I said it like a rose. And I was very, very scared as a little boy. And they eventually, I think they knew I was scared. They somehow used telepathy or something or other, but eventually I sort of calmed down a little bit and they urged me forward. And in the middle of the light, there was this large being, and I call it the mantis in my story. I only glanced at it. It was completely alien to me. It really did freak me out at that time. I was very, very scared. And yeah, it had an angular sort of look to it, very long limbs. I can only, again, it was, well, 47 years ago now. But it was burned in my memory, and it's
Yeah.
always been there. It's just been put right to the back, and in some ways, this experience has defined me my whole life, this lifetime, and I hadn't even realised it because I'd never shared it with anybody, not even my parents. Or anything like that. I mean, what do you say? They say, "Oh, you're having night terrors. It's just a nightmare. You've got a wonderful imagination, Ben. Look at your art." All these sorts of things, you know. But that's the being there. If you go to 3.5,
Right. Well, before we do you recall what it felt like to walk down that corridor? Did you have a sense of the floor and having your feet on it?
let me try and revisit it. This is, I guess, what people do when they have the deep hypnosis. As I said, it was very cold. When my breath came out, I could see my breath like coming out, almost looking solid. As I said, I had the smell. The floor, this is weird. The floor felt wet, but it wasn't wet. I don't know what that means. Um, it wasn't. It, that is very strange for me to say it that way, but that's what I felt. That's what I
Okay.
feel, feeling about it.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was solid or if it was uh, flexing or anything, but it felt wet. It felt I don't know. It's very strange. I can't describe it. Um,
Yeah, I'm not going
yeah,
to suggest anything. I want to hear it from you.
yeah,
If I
yeah,
suggest
yeah,
something that it's not, but you
yeah,
think
yeah,
about it, you may get more on that later. So
yeah,
3.5. Uh,
yeah.
there's there's
So
3.5.
this is a close up of the being that I kind of saw. Again, I only glanced at it. It really, um, I mean, I was already very heightened, running on adrenaline.
I
Um,
I know that smell that you're talking
uh,
about. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that did get me.
yeah, yeah.
It got me.
Um, so this being, as I said, was very, very tall, very, very lanky. I have this. This is the first picture of me trying to sort of conceive what it was like. The only way I can describe it is it was completely alien. I mean, it had humanoid features to it, and the head, I believe, was very angular, and I feel like that being was maybe some of the reports that people make of the mantis, and that's why I called it that in my story. Now, just from an artist's perspective, the way I made this. I used lots of different X-ray pictures of human parts, and like Dr. Frankenstein, I put it I put it all together in different layers, blended it all in, and the head itself is a distorted, touched up version of an actual real owl. Um, so like one of those white Arctic owls, and then I overlaid the sort of grey face and blended it together to give it some sort of a feeling as to what I felt it looked like. Because I did only glance at it, um, but that's where I was at with that, and in writing that in my story. This being, I've been thinking about this again the last couple of days. The way I describe the presence of this being is being in the presence of something more powerful than anything you've ever imagined. It was just there observing me. There was no telepathy. Um, I felt very, very small. And uh, I think that's after seeing this being is not far, maybe only a few seconds after it is when I blacked out. And then the only next memory I have is waking up in my room on the floor with my blanket over me. Um, it was such an overwhelming feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, uh, yeah, so that's that one. You have to laugh sometimes, though. You can't let it,
You do. You absolutely do.
This
And
one,
by the way,
was,
I love that piece. I love the last three. Just were wonderful.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
This is one I made again. Like I talk sometimes, and I love it how you talk about the natural environment and us being linked to the earth. I'm an earth sign, and I have that. I'm just starting to get to know my Aboriginality that's in my background now. But these are the magpies. When I say magpies, that's what I'm talking about. That little
Right.
bird down there, we call a willy wagtail.
The magpies are very prolific in Australia. I've seen them before.
Yeah, I've got some pet ones. I've had two generations. They eat the dog food when I feed my dog.
and and
And
and huntsman spiders.
oh yeah, don't get me started on spiders. Anyway, yeah. So this is just part of a. So I'll just read this when I made it. So this is for a future secret story that I wrote. It reflects my personal belief that the spirit, the essence of an individual life form, can inhabit different bodies and assume a new state of being, be it for a moment or a lifetime. Sometimes they bring a fleeting message to us when we stop and we just listen. So that's that one.
Okay. So we're on number
Number,
5 now.
yeah. All right, here we go. Here's some natural willow charcoal. I did this one quite quickly. It only took me about 20-25 minutes.
And I have one of your pieces too that you sent
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Two
I'll
of
send
them.
you. Oh,
I love them. They're
thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, I had to send them to you because I knew you'd appreciate it. Um, because yeah, we're sort of cut from the same cloth, I believe. Um, go to the next one.
That would be number 6.
All right. So this is something that I have encountered in the recent decade. All right. So this is, I believe they're the same size, and it may be the same, but I have noticed differences to my little vampires from my original meeting. Now these ones, they were natural. They were not machine-like, but that's not to say that they weren't being controlled by, I guess, an elder or a more advanced being that was taller. They were only about 3 foot tall, so about 90 centimeters. Those of us that live in metric. um, Now, when I've seen these ones, there's normally three of these little ones, and then there's like a 4.5, 4 foot one that looks a bit more like the communion type faced alien. And I believe that one is telepathically, in charge of these ones, and they're going about their duties, whatever they are.
Was it walking on its tiptoes?
Look, the reason I did it like that is because I have felt when I have been in the presence of these, they almost float. I don't know how that's possible or what's going on. I'm never fully lucid when I've seen these ones.
No, because
But
you're in a hypnotic state.
yeah, yeah. So that's probably why I did that. I might have done that subconsciously. I don't remember consciously why I did it that way. But their bodies were impossibly thin, but they're not weak little beings that I've seen. And because their bodies are impossibly thin, the head looks really big. But I have to say, from my perception, I feel like that's just because the bodies are so small and thin and frail. I think if they are bigger, they're only slightly bigger than, say, a human child's head would be. But that's just my perception. But yeah, they had this bulbous kind of shape to their head. I think I probably put too much of a shadow on that one. I don't think there was that sort of prominent ridge, but I sort of got this as close to what I thought I had seen. So I've seen these
Sure.
on several occasions over the last decade. Um, yeah, I think that's my notes on that one.
Susie
Yeah,
Hansen, some of the beings that she saw, Susie Henson, had their heads had that shape to them.
yeah. An interesting one with this one is when you put that one up there on the thumbnail. Um, just the other day, I was at on some site, whatever. It's like an experience the site, and that intruders lady was there. The Debbie,
Debbie,
is it?
yes,
Debbie was there, yeah, and
she's wonderful.
yeah, and at the same time, Reverend Michael was on it as well. Um,
Oh,
and as Yeah, and as part of that show, they were playing people's regression tapes, and just ironically, as this has come up, and there was this lady under deep hypnotic regression, and she described this exact being that I've rendered here, and it blew me away because often I have felt while I've been dealing with this that maybe I've seen the wrong ones. um, because some people describe, the classic grey looking alien and stuff. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe I haven't seen them or I've seen the wrong ones. I don't know. But yeah, she described the exact thing. I'm not sure about the hands. I don't know. I feel like they have long fingers. I don't know if they have more joints. But I just sort of, that's more a feeling. But that's the body shape, the head itself,
What
and
about the
yeah,
thumb?
obviously,
What what about the thumb?
yeah,
Is
yeah.
there?
I see. I don't think that's right. I'm looking at this image. I think it looks more like a finger, but again, I think the
Um,
hands were like the last part that I had done on this image.
mhm.
And yeah, I for some reason the face, it just burns into my brain. Yeah, but I know it had a black bodysuit that sort of absorbed the light. It wasn't
Yep,
very shiny.
yep.
Um,
That's what I've
I,
seen. Also dark
yeah,
blue.
yeah. I wouldn't say it was matte, but it was not glossy. And
Right.
yeah, um, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we're going to
That's
go number 7.
number 7. So I took that visitor and I put them, and I thought, what can I do with this? And I made a mandala out of it. Um, so
Ah,
I used the same head and I repeated, and I did each of these in different layers, eventually merging it all together. And I'll just read this for us. Mandala in Hindu and Buddhist Tantrism, a symbolic diagram used in the performance of sacred rites and as an instrument of meditation. The mandala is basically a representation of the universe, a consecrated area that serves as a receptacle for the gods and as a collection point of universal focus and forces. Man, by entering the mandala and proceeding towards its center, is by analogy guided through the cosmic processes of disintegration and reintegration. So I thought that was fascinating because I'd sort of known what they are, but
Yeah,
I
just
thought that was, yeah. And it's interesting there when I read the literal the definition of it. It's like starting from the outside and then going to the center. Because I feel like in my Western upbringing, I want to look straight in the center and then work my way out. So it's interesting that it's in reverse, that kind of
I suppose the source is
thought
at the center,
process.
not at the
Yeah,
outside. So that would make
yeah,
perfect sense.
yeah. So
Uh,
that was that one.
okay. Wow. Okay.
All right. So this one is like more me being an artist. Right. This is not saying this is what I saw or anything like that.
Right.
Right. So what I did is I looked at several high definition photos of praying mantis, and also in my use of charcoal depicting the, well, I don't know, the visitors, the greys that I've drawn. I wanted to combine that humanoid body with the mantis triangular head. And I wanted to revisit the mantis being that I saw all those years ago. And I just wanted to have a play. So, yeah, that's what I did. And so you can see you know, the antennae. You can see the big eyes. You've got the little mandibles here, but I've also underneath that I've put a little humanoid mouth. So yeah, it was really me just exploring it.
Hmm.
I do feel though that I've seen these sci-fi things recently, and these people that say that they have seen mantids and they look just like praying mantises. I don't resonate with that with my experience. I resonate that that's the closest thing that we can put our minds to. I don't think
I would
it
agree.
actually looks like a literal mantis myself.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah,
the larger, taller gray that I deal with, I mean, I could see how she could be perceived as a mantis type being, especially if you're drowsy, under hypnosis, they have control of you. You don't get a really good look, but you see these enormous eyes, and that's what they remind people of. But
yeah,
then at the same time, I've heard them described when they're a bit more conscious and they're mantis-like, but they're not, truly an insect. So I
yeah.
guess we'll never be sure, at least not anytime too soon. Okay, moving
Shall we
on
look at
to,
Nana's story?
yeah, that's
Number
that's number
nine.
nine. Number
Yeah,
nine.
so I
Nine.
enjoyed doing this because although I wasn't there, my father was there, and my nana told me this story. And the thing about, so that was secret story 29, I reckon it is. The thing about that story is my father's older brother, and I just, in speaking to my dad about this after I shared the secret story with him, my my father is the second oldest brother. The oldest brother, Steve, his name's Steve too. He doesn't recall any of this, but my father, his younger sister Rosie, and my nana all did. So it's kind of strange because I think we were talking about this when Joe Stillwell was on the community chat the other week,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that he had an experience there with another person, and it's as lucid and vivid for him, but she remembers nothing. And so this is the same with my father's brother. He
And
remembers
I and I
absolutely nothing of this.
and I've been through that too.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then and
Next
with
one.
with with someone else hearing the person describe the experience we had together, and 2 weeks later he didn't know what she was talking about or I was talking about. and he really
Yeah, yeah,
didn't remember. So, okay, so
yeah.
9.5.
Yeah, so these are the most beautiful men I've ever seen, my nana said. um,
Huh.
it was really, yeah, the Nordics. So there was two of them, and they could see them from where they were. I'm trying to recall, it was 100, 150 feet away when the saucer kind of craft landed there. And yeah, she was like recounting them with such fondness. So I thought I would show them. Next one.
Okay. Okay, where did 10 go? They're mostly in order. There's 11. There it is.
So there's my grandfather from that story, the one that worked at Maralinga. So allegedly, it's his mother was where I get my Aboriginality link from. And so I took his old photo. He was in front of the house when they first built it in Parafield Gardens, and I put that here. So that is the Nullarbor Plain where he went fishing in that story. And then I actually put an old FJ Holden car there, and I put my nana in it, even though she wasn't there. So if you zoom in, my nana's sitting there, and I, out to honour my nana, I put her name on the number plate, Edna.
I see
So,
that. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And those are my grandfather's official patches that he was given for his service in Maralinga. And I actually scanned them in on the photo copier
Wow.
at work. And I mean, they had we're talking about smells and things. They had a unique smell themselves. Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on what it was. But there's the craft. If we go to the next one, there's a close up of the craft that I describe in that story. And it sort of came down from nowhere. They were watching it, and then all of a sudden it was there, and it wasn't far from where they were fishing. And Grandpa said that the texture was all bumpy. It was sort of a matte greyish kind of colour, but there was so much heat coming off it when it first came down and was just hovering there in front of them. Eventually, that heat dissipated. And for some reason, we're talking about what's going on in our minds, when we have these experiences, but they just continued fishing. That thing was just floating there for God knows how many minutes, and they just continued fishing. But again, it's like when, where I think you've mentioned it, and I mentioned, like, with Indigenous people, like, we accept these things as being part and parcel of life. It's not an
Yes.
external thing.
It's
Like,
normal, not
yeah,
paranormal.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, I think I've said it's as real as the air we breathe, the water we drink, the dirt that we put our feet in. And it's always been here. And it's not, as I say, an external phenomena. And I think that's perhaps for me, I guess, just quickly, it's the Western view of things. And I think you've said it before. There's many, many cultures that this is just, as you said, part and parcel of the human condition. It's not an external extra thing, which is what we sort of been told. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it certainly was for my indigenous ancestors and my
yeah.
grandfather from Ireland.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I when we talk about lineage and is there a genetic link to people that are being visited and stuff like that? My grandfather, the other one, was from Ireland. His name was Harry.
Yeah,
He was from Belfast, and I'm a bit of a mongrel.
yeah. Well, I have Blackfoot and I have Irish, and he was like Darby O'Gill. Um, let's see. So 12.
Okay,
Wow.
so yeah, now this reminds me of the Mantis one that you did a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I've done two. The other one had a mouth on it and stuff. The only reason that I didn't have a mouth on mine is because I don't remember the mouth. So you
yeah.
try to be as realistic or honest about when you do art, making it close to what you've seen as possible. And if there wasn't a mouth, it probably was, but I didn't see it, so I didn't put it
Yeah,
in.
yeah. And the thing is, like as we were saying before, you get so captivated by those eyes that
Oh yeah,
some of the other
easy.
details, yeah, they just go by the wayside because, yeah. So that one,
I love it,
yeah, so that's watercolor. I enjoyed
and
that,
I,
and
and I
I,
love I love the reflections in the eyes.
yeah. So I did another grey or something, didn't I? Yeah, because I did this a while
Yeah,
ago. So
yeah.
it's just
They're looking
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I remember that. I did it a while ago, that one. So I did that back in February. Yeah, so then I put it in Photoshop and I just kind of
Mhm.
put it in a cold, sterile environment because at that time I was trying to touch base with the lack of emotion that I felt when I saw that mantis being, or whether it wasn't the emotion that I didn't feel, it was the lack of any communication. I think led to that. So that was me just exploring that part of it. So yeah, just added that in on the
Wow.
Photoshop.
Wow.
Uh, oh, this is a good one. I like. I'm very interested in this, and obviously, I think I know why. um, this case is fascinating to me because I am a school teacher, and obviously we have that case in Melbourne, Australia, in 1966, the Westall case, and I met the bloke that researched that and made the documentary. He was a school teacher as well. Um, Back a while ago with my mate Ben, we went to some sort of UFO conference in Adelaide, first one I'd ever been to, that sort of thing. But yeah, I revisited this and I looked at many of the individual children's drawings and I looked at as many as I could. I looked at the craft that they drew, the beings, and I listened to all the John Mack interviews again. And I've watched some of the modern interviews with the children that had grown up. And so this is my artist's impression of this. They said 62 children all saw this. So yeah, they're not real, are they? 62 children saw this. So I'll give you a background. I'll be a little bit of a storyteller now. Is that all right?
That's fine.
All right. So on the morning of September 16th in 1994, teachers and school officials at the Ariel School in Rua, Zimbabwe, were amazed when the school students, aged approximately 5 to 12 years old, reported that a flying object had landed on the school grounds. The teachers at the school were at a meeting, so the 62 children were basically unsupervised, great teachers, while the schoolyard at morning recess. The children said that a small man about 1 metre in height appeared on top of the object. One student recounted there were several little men zooming around. So again, you know, when you were saying about that creature, why is it up on tippy toes? There's this, I don't know how, they sort of float sometimes. I don't, yeah. The little man who was described as having a scrawny neck, long black hair, and huge eyes. Several students first thought that he was the gardener. Um, was this entity a hybrid, perhaps, wearing a wig so as to try and not scare the children so much? That was just a thought I had. They walked a short way across the ground towards the students. When the when he noticed the children, he vanished and then he reappeared back at the object. The object then took off and vanished. The smaller children were very frightened and cried for help. They believed that the little man was a demon who would eat them. Kids. Black African children have heard legends of Tokoloshish, demons who eat children. Dr. Mack, the abduction researcher, and his associate Dominique Kalimanopoulos went to Rua and spent 2 days interviewing and counselling 12 of the children and their parents. And this is a quote from one of the girls, and it says, "Those thoughts came from the man's eyes. Curiously, the older, yeah,
No, I didn't say
cur-
anything.
uh,
Yeah.
curiously, the older students said that they felt that the creatures communicated with them somehow, sending the message that we humans are destroying our planet, polluting the environment in ways that will have dire consequences."
And it sure has.
Yeah, fascinating case.
Yep.
So again, I don't know with the hair with that case. Like I said, whether they were hybrids, whether it was a wig to try and make themselves more presentable,
It's
more
been seen
amenable to
before.
the student.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
unusual.
but
So
yeah, if I
here,
look,
number 15 is very interesting. Even this little
yeah,
ah,
so
you see,
yeah,
you got the cloak on it again.
yeah. So this is
The hoodie.
I revisited this one. Uh, I wanted to render the proportions, the textures and hues as well as I could recall. When I was in the dark in my room, this was the face when it first came into focus for me. But obviously it was dark, so it wasn't as lit up as that. And it had these big eyes, and they were human looking eyes, but they were very, very big. And the closest thing I can relate this to is um, the drawing and the model of Betty and Barney Hill, the
Hmm.
creature, the visitor in that, the big eyes, and that's what I saw. And I looked, and I'm like, "You're not a kid." Um, I just looked straight into them. I'm like, "It's a kid, but it's not a kid. You're not a kid."
Also,
And
Travis Walton and Betty Andreessen describe
yeah,
it. And I can show you another time grays that I made back in 1979, 80, right in there, where I made a puppet and it looked very much like this, except it was
I
gray, but it had the same kind of eyes. I still have pictures of it. And when you
I
go
know
back,
the one you're
as
talking about. And when I saw that of yours, I was like, that's what I saw, that.
yeah,
And
yeah, it was even in a
uh,
movie back then with Christopher Lee.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, so that's what that was, revisiting that.
And then
Um,
Spielberg used it on his four-part series.
right.
So, and didn't even give me anything. No, I'm just kidding. Here we are.
The
It's
buggers. I
number
did this one
15.
for Scarlett because her story that she told me
Oh, yeah.
in the what's it called, the forum. It really inspired me, and I'm like, oh, do you mind? Like, I really want to make an artwork about this. So I did that for her, and she saw this being, and yeah, it sort of had a face, but it didn't have a face. But yeah, I don't really want to talk too much about it because she might want to share it in
Yeah,
the future. That's her
that's
story.
true. Right now,
Um,
she's staying behind the scenes, but
yeah,
that
yeah.
could change. So
Fascinating.
we
She's got a
see
lot to
16.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh,
where's 17? There's 17.
all right. So
And that's
just
more.
this might make people laugh. I guess she wouldn't mind me saying this. I reckon. She said, "Oh, the face it looked like Kenny from South Park," and
Ah,
so so what I did is I took Kenny from South Park and I used that as the first layer, and then I built up the face over the top. And
oh,
yeah, and then I tried to take out the definition because she was saying it was a face, but I couldn't really see the definition in the face. So that's what I did with that one. So, and when I told her, she
I
laughed. She
love it.
said, "Oh, yeah."
I love it.
So that's
So
what one I did for Scarlett. I did that one. Mary said, "Oh, gave us that little I don't know, it felt like a little homework thing.
I
Of course, I
love
had
it.
to do it.
Very
No,
nice.
yeah. So I wanted to sort of make it more approachable, more feminine, link the human with the visitor. Yeah.
Now I got to do is find where 19 went because there it is. They're out of order. Oh wow.
Oh, so I did this for you and for me. Um, um, yeah, this is for your deep connection to that movie. And look, also my nana, Harry, the Irish grandfather, his wife, my nana, my mum's mum, she had a fascination and an affinity with the stars, and she used to take me and talk to me about the stars, and she'd take me to the observatories to look at the stars. It was just her and I; no one else was interested in it. And I remember we saw Halley's Comet together. We went on an expedition. It was really cold. It was winter, and she chucked me, my brother. I don't think my sister was there in the car, and we went up to the Adelaide Hills, and we looked at this looked for the best vantage point to see Halley's Comet. We could see a tiny little speck. I was very disappointed. I was like, Nana, Halley's Comet's supposed to be as big as the moon. What's going on? So she said, "Oh, come on, let's go home." When we got home to our house on Salisbury Highway, we got out in the car, and there it was. It was about half the size of the moon, right next, like where her house was. So we'd done this amazing trek and came back, and there it was. But yeah, and I did this, so I put the alien grey on an actual human fetus, and then that is a image from the Webb telescope, the Southern Ring Nebula,
I love it.
and I made it especially for you, that with the grey in it, but also for me because I love that movie.
Oh, me too. We could
And
talk for hours about that film.
yeah, so that's that one.
Now this one here, I have this very and always have had this very deep connection with the Aborigine people, and the first time I saw the movie um, with David Galufil, The Last Wave with Richard Chamberlain. I mean, I got so amazed by it that I made the Dreamtime Stone from that. And I've done some Aboriginal artwork, but then I got told that I'm not supposed to do that I don't have the permission because I'm not Aboriginal. Um, so I took everything off the internet. I didn't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is certain rules. For example, Aboriginal people, if someone has passed, they don't like to look at the photographs, for example, because they feel like it's a living culture, that the spirit is still alive, even though the spirit isn't here. Now, this particular image is on the internet. So, as I said in the notes when I was studying this, it obviously has permission to be up. So that's
Right.
why I sort of looked at it. And I'm not going to say what I'm going to say next is the beliefs of Aboriginal people of that area, and I pay respects to Aboriginal elders, past and present, from that area. But I thought this was fascinating, and because often when you see the one Gina, you just see geometric shapes. But if you look close up at this one at Baxton Creek in Western Australia, you can see the iris and the pupil inside the eyes. So if you go to the next one, I enhanced the pigment that I saw there, and so you can see a definite pupil there, and you can
Yeah.
see the iris and everything. And it appears to me, again, I'm not saying this is what the people of that region believe. This is just my personal observations, although I am part Indigenous. This is just my personal human observations, that there's all these other things near it as well. There's a little, looks like a little human child, and there's another
I
one.
noticed that right away. Yeah.
Yeah, and above that,
Yeah.
it looks like a disc-shaped sort of craft. Um, So in looking at those eyes, it's like, again, I look to the eyes, I look to the center, but then there's all these details that many people probably would have missed because they get fascinated with the eyes. Um, I just thought it was fascinating because,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm totally fascinated with it, and
but
we have to be careful because
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's just one
the elders have this thing called the bone, and you don't want it pointed at you for any
Oh, yeah.
reason
No,
whatsoever.
absolutely not. All right, next one. All right, so this I did this one for Jeff Selva,
Oh,
and
okay.
this is in so the intellectual uh, property rights and likeness. Obviously, that belongs to him. That's his story.
Right.
But I did this specifically for him, and so I took the drawing that he did himself, and then I put some bones, some structure, some flesh over the top, and this is what I came up with. And above the head of that is one of the drones that he saw from the top of his buildings that he talks about that changes shape and form and that sort of thing. And then the circle behind the elder is the concept that he talks about of a shadow earth. And he sort of represents it as that sort of, a shadow like an eclipse.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, it has the elongated head that he describes. He said he liked it, so I was happy.
Good.
Um,
I like
yeah,
it
I
too.
said, mate, that's yours. Do what you want with it. Did it for you. Next one. So again, this is
Oh
one
yeah.
I did for James. Absolutely love his story and really connect with the guy. I think he's very, very cool. I wish I was as cool. Um, but again, the image likeness and the intellectual property of that story belongs to him. But I did this
Yeah.
for him, and it's got in it some of the details of his story.
Yeah, it sure
I was,
does. I know it well.
yeah. So yeah, it took me a while to make. It's one of my favourite ones. I like this one because of the composition. It's got nice diagonals in it. You've got the little alien scout. If you zoom right in on the cockpit there or
Oh yeah,
whatever
I
it
can
is,
see them.
yeah. So and the Honda on the back in Australia, we didn't call it the Accord here. They sometimes change the names like they do with movies. But yeah, we called it a Honda Prelude. Was the closest thing. So I put that on the trailer. His car that he said, I love that car. It was like a spaceship with the pop-up lights, to quote him. So I had to put that on the back for him as well. Yeah, there's our mate.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Earl.
Yep.
This one, I just started. I just had to. I was just feeling it, and I was at work, and I just picked up a green highlighter, and I just started sketching him, just with a green highlighter, and I just wanted to feel his presence and capture for me. He had a life force. I never met him in person, obviously, but I could see him on camera, and
Oh yeah.
in my interactions with him on the chats, I just had such a connection with him, and
We
I
all
think
did.
maybe I'm here today because, as I said to Mary, I wouldn't have divulged any of this if it wasn't for Mary, but I think when I had a chat to him in the chat, and he said, Ben, I said maybe, and I said to him, maybe we should help people try and understand. He goes, yeah, and it's like from that day on, that's when I thought, and I started putting more, interacting more in the chats, and I started doing more artwork, and I started perhaps writing another recount or story of some of my experiences, and yeah, I'll never forget him, and yeah, I miss him. I miss him.
And you'll be happy to know at the MUFON Symposium this July, Deborah Cobble was there and a number of other people. But Earl was also there because the show that we did, or that he did, about his experience, that is one of our episodes, not a live show, but an actual film, was the first time we met him when he came to our studio, and he spilled his guts about what happened to him and the encounter he had with the Greys. And Justin Eccleston, the state director for Utah, asked for the film, and so I had a 4K copy of it, which I sent him to, and they ran that at the symposium. And he told me there wasn't a dry eye in the house, and that people loved it. So
Ah,
Earl got to be there after all, in all his glory. So
fantastic.
that was a good thing.
And
Okay.
yeah, this is the one that I talked about, I think, on one of the community chats. And I had all the recommendeds pop up with Earl, and then this the diamond light thing. That's what I made, that I put on the forum. Just a fleeting view. It was definitely there. It was just an amazing experience, and I feel that there was a connection to him, and some people said, "Oh, it was him." I mean, I don't know, but I do feel like this. I'll be honest. I feel like it was a connection to him, and that phenomenon that occurred that
It's
time.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Uh,
Okay, and that was 25. Here's 26, and
so this is what I saw about a month ago. I described in the live last time. Yeah, it had that communion kind of shape. It was about 4 foot up the frame, and it just sort of, when I turned to the left, it was just there, and I had that winter sunlight coming from behind and from the top, and there was definitely a face, and it was there in 3 dimensional space, and it had a glistening to it. There was moisture. There was something coming off of it. Almost, I'd like to say almost like sweating, but yeah, I liken it to the skin of a frog that always sort of has moisture. But
and
I couldn't,
a
yeah,
transparency too.
yeah, and I couldn't see an eye, so I don't know when it noticed me in that moment. It closed its eyelid, or what happened, but I couldn't see the eye. But I could just see where the eye sort of would be, like with a slight highlight or shadow on it. So yeah, that's kind of what I saw, and it just sort of, so it was already there, and then it just retreated back behind the door frame. And I know, and I said this, I think, at that time, sounds like an absolute cliche, but that's what I saw.
Yeah,
Um, it was
and
there.
and that's the full size picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, we're coming to a close. Ooh, thanks everybody. All right,
Well,
28.
this is
I love.
interesting. You gleeped that, and I'm glad I put it on the internet because the actual photograph, which was given to me by the Vicki Lawrence show, it was sent to me in the mail. Um, I did the show back during '94. In fact, Yvonne Smith sitting in the audience there somewhere. You can see people clapping. This was after we finished the show. That picture was fading, and there were parts of it were starting to be missing and stuff. So I scanned it and cleaned it up, and I'm glad I did. If you look, you can see one of the large tall gray standing in the background. There's a
Yeah,
small one somewhere too. And then there's one of the masks that I made back then, and they decorated the stage with all that stuff. And of course, look who I'm standing next to. I mean, forget the cast of Star Trek. I'm standing next to Jacques Vallée. That was amazing, spending that time with him and being able to talk to him alone after the show. It was quite remarkable. So,
yeah, I love that, and I think I said to Mary in my a couple of emails back and forth. I said I remember being a teenager and seeing that and seeing you on
oh,
TV at one point, And yeah, and and as I said, I think I've relayed. Like, I know it came out in 1987, I believe, the
No,
Communion
no, this
book.
was not. This was 94.
Yeah, yeah. But the first time I read the Communion book, it was in 1991, and I was in year 11 at high school. And yeah, so yeah, I remember the 90s. Oh, the 90s were great. And I remember seeing you on that show, I reckon. Yeah,
I was on quite a
unbelievable.
few. I was on quite a few. It was good and bad. It gave me a lot of
Oh
trouble.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. And so
Oh,
this is my tribute to you, my friend.
oh, thank you.
So I took you out of that. I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I
No, it's
took you
great.
out of
Thank
that
you.
photograph, and I
I like
placed
the
you in
jackrabbits.
yeah, in the blue light. And you've got,
Yeah.
is it Fred, the little one? Fred?
Yeah.
That,
Well, yeah, that's Fred. Yeah.
yeah. So you've got the beings around, but then you've got the jackrabbits and the owls, the Susies and the Judys and the Bens, all the people you've helped over the years
Yeah.
on this journey. So that's my tribute to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. And thank you for having me today and
Well,
allowing me to
sure.
share the artwork.
Oh, there we go. I haven't been paying attention to any of the comments. So if you've been asking questions, I haven't been able to be seeing because I've been wrangling all the wonderful art that you did. Um, and of course, you should have shown us some of your sculpting too, as well as you do
Ah,
in stone.
yeah, yeah. All
You
right.
know
Just see if this, like,
that
there you
we.
go.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So
And
that's
what stone is that?
volcanic obsidian. So
Oh,
it has
obsidian,
no,
sure. Volcanic glass.
yeah,
How the
yeah.
heck do you sculpt that?
It
That stuff's
has
hard
no,
as glass.
yeah, it has no crystalline structure, so you can get really smooth surfaces.
Wow,
So
very
there's that
nice.
one. There's the,
It reminds me of the one I did that Jim Boyle turned into a piece of jewelry you can wear.
oh, awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Look
Yeah,
how
I'll put
similar
the
it is
other
to
one
yours,
up.
though.
Yeah, look. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at
Oh, there you go.
that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And yeah, oh, I did this. I did these. You said you're part of the Blackfoot, so
Oh,
I did these
oh,
as well.
that's wonderful.
And here's
Wow,
a bigger one. I love. I watched this guy. He's like a Navajo Indian.
wow, those are beautiful.
Yeah. So I'll send you them when I get a chance
What
as well.
when you being a school teacher, when do you find time to do all this?
I don't know. Like this is a look.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Oh, hang on. My mum's calling me. Yes, mum. Oh, no, I'm on the internet. All right.
Your bananas are
I'm
much more yellow
bananas.
than ours are currently.
Uh,
Ben, it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful having you in our life, but it was really wonderful to have you on the show like this. And it helps everyone here get a chance to know you and sharing your art and telling your experience at the same time. It's been really a wonderful thing. And we really thank you for that. It really enriches our channel. So we're
mm.
very blessed to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me. And
Yeah.
I love you guys. And
We love you
anyone that's
too.
anyone that's in the chat there, when you're ready, all right, be kind to yourself. But when you're ready, share these experiences if you can. You're not crazy, and yeah, there's a lot of love in this community. So thank you, guys.
I I absolutely concur with what you're saying, and it does help. This is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing having this in your life. As I was saying to Mary earlier, I said it's one thing to be on the outside looking in, but it's another thing to be on the inside looking out. at the same time, you're on the outside looking in. Uh, it's really a hard thing. And when you're having these experiences and they're ongoing, it's it's challenging. But I do think it builds character at the very
Ah,
least. So
what
I still
what
wouldn't
does?
trade it for anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, I
all
totally
right,
agree.
Ben. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. And all your contributions to this channel and your being subscribers is really important to us. And don't forget to hit that darn like button and subscribe. There's a lot of you that I know are frequent in comments. You're not subscribers. It's an easy thing to do to subscribe. It's free and it helps the channel a lot because Mary and I work so hard, just the two of us. That's it. We get told, congratulations to your team. Well, our team is Mary and myself and all the people who are part of this community. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.